David's house. This is not David's house.
Amazingly, David sometimes referred to himself as the other David, as if his own self were an imposter.
The top-class delusion.
If you're selling a product online and you're not using Shippo, you might be overspending thousands of dollars on your Shippo. This is what your house looks like when you get 500 orders in less than 24.
What's it like when one of your friends on death row is led away to be executed?
Years and months and hours of every day with a person. You talk every day, hey, what are you doing? And, let's eat something, make something to eat. And, and he eventually comes by one day and is like, yeah, I got to go, man. And, when he leaves and turns his back and walks down them steps, he ain't coming back. They're going to kill him.
He's saying that like they ain't do no serious crime.
About an hour's drive south of Chicago in the state of Indiana is one of America's oldest and most notorious maximum security prisons. The majority of the 1,900 inmates here are serving long sentences for unspeakable crimes.
And when I came at you, I wasn't just going to stick you an inch. I was going to run something all the way through you.
12 are due to be executed on the orders of the state. For 2 weeks, I was given privileged access to this dark and forbidding world.
I do deserve to be executed. Bottom line, I ain't gonna candy coat it. I deserve to be executed.
Welcome to Indiana's state prison.
Thank you.
My introduction to the prison was dramatic. The man who runs it, Superintendent Bill Wilson, agreed to take me to death row.
So this is actually the entrance.
This is the actual entrance, and it's 2 floors. We only have 12 men on the row right now.
You have to sign yourself in.
Mm-hmm.
The superintendent comes to death row every week to check on how the inmates are coping.
Superintendent, these are the pictures of people on death row?
Correct.
I should have made it bigger,
that are on death row.
Whatever.
And it shows their cell location so that staff never have to question where they're at. No
still
staff
gonna have
members
to
are
get
allowed
more
on the
bonds.
unit when the offenders are out. So the offenders actually will secure themselves in the cells, and then their cell doors will close or open as they need to come in or out.
Do you like any of these people?
They're all different in many ways, and I am respectful of who they are, what they are. Would I call them my friends? No, but there's some characters here that have some personality characteristics that you would say are likable.
He knows
said,
them
"Would I
all
call them
by
my
name,
friends?" No.
and they know him.
McManus, it always amazed me how clean that cell is. Keep it up.
A lot of time in here.
I know.
Hello.
Staying out of trouble?
Yeah.
All right. Wilkes, how's your eyes? You been over to medical at all? Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, how are you?
1 second. How you been?
All right, you?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Hi.
Is tension high?
Girl, they look like they living good
Not
in
for
here.
me.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right.
They have a whole refrigerator.
Richie?
What's up?
Does this nigga got a cat?
Mr. Richie's wife, I believe, is from England.
Which part of England is she from? Uh-huh. Yes.
This nigga got a cat.
Yeah, I met her about
In the gym.
on a pen pal, and we hit it off instantly. And she came over, visited, couldn't get enough, and married me.
How often do you get a chance to see her?
Every weekend.
Do you mind doing this?
No, not at all.
Yes. It is very, very unconventional, though, because this relationship is one that you
Girl,
know
they
and
got a
she
cat in
knows.
there. You know, that
Well,
wouldn't be so bad going to jail with an animal.
kind of, because a lot of guys can get off death row. A lot of us are getting off death row. But cases like mine and like another gentleman back here, you know, we didn't kill no women or kids. We were charged with shooting a police officer, and they just don't let guys like us, no matter if you got good issues in your
He
case or
shot
not,
a
legal
police?
issues to let you off death row. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
She knows that, and she married you.
I know. I found something now. See, I was a stupid kid at 19 and 20. I made very poor decisions. I would make decisions. I would do things without thinking about them, and I didn't give a damn about the consequence at all. That kid, to me now, 32 years old, that kid's gone. I'm not saying I'm rehabilitated. You know.
You're not saying that?
No, I'm not. But I am
Why
saying, because I'd be bullshitting you. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm the kind of guy that does need to be in prison.
Why are you the kind of guy who needs to be in prison?
Because I'm the kind of guy, if I get fired from a job and I can't find a job, I'll do it the legal way, try to get a job, and I can't find a job, and I can't pay my bills, I'll go get a gun and I'll pay my bills. And I won't think nothing about it. It won't bother me at all.
Look at the way he
describe
holding his hands
the
like
person
this.
you are, but how do you see your life looking down the line? Where does it go? Where does it end up?
Either in a box or doing a life sentence in population. That's my choices right there. Doing a life sentence or being in a box. And I gotta watch my wife roll old through these bars.
What I really appreciate about the Google Career
I don't like
Certificate
him
is
'cause
you're
he
not
just
just sticking your
talking.
nose in a book, you're learning the day-to-day work of a security analyst.
He just talked. I got this one. They get a lot of freedom in this bitch, don't it?
Out in the general population,
They having
convicts are
fun in the
allowed
ditch in
yard time, 2 hours recreation every day. Save for taking showers and meals, this is their only opportunity to mix and to make allies.
Have you been here a long time?
27 years.
How many?
27 years.
27 years.
These niggas crazy.
I was heading to the Administrative Segregation Unit with Lieutenant Gillespie. The men here are among the prison's most dangerous.
This is Sergeant Fagan. This is his unit.
Many
You know
of the
me.
offenders here are gang members, drug dealers, and sexual predators. Everything they do is monitored and carefully controlled.
Okay, they cells don't look like the other people's cells. The other people got cats in there. Bitch, if I went to jail and I could get me a cat, put me in. What the fuck? I ain't gotta pay rent. I ain't gotta do none of that.
Could you tell me what this list of names is all about?
All right. Every cell house in Indiana State Prison has one of these. The idea behind this is to make sure we know where everyone's at, what they're doing, who they are, why they're here, etc. For example, if someone would accidentally take out 508 and 509 together, and let's say 508 owes 509 money, so 509's mad about it, and they get put in the shower together and the door's locked, and he has a weapon on him, 508 could lose his life. Look at that. Just because someone
But
made
why
that
do he
mistake.
have
So
a
that's why
weapon
it's
on him?
important to really understand this board.
Do you feel that you must be constantly vigilant?
These guys have nothing but time. Okay, we're going home, so we're thinking about going to dinner with the wife, going to dinner with the mom, whatever. These guys have nothing but time. They're sitting here, and these guys, they're smart. They don't forget. So let's say you made them mad 2 weeks ago. You forgot all about it. They don't. So let's say you're sitting here minding your business, doing something, come up behind you and assault you. Yeah, you gotta be awake. You gotta be on your toes.
Yeah, I would not do it.
The offenders in this unit are locked down for 23 hours a day. And when they're allowed out for
23
their
hours.
60-minute break, they're kept apart in individual steel cages. One of the men is 38-year-old Ronald L. Sanford. By any measure, and in any prison community, his is an exceptional story.
Girl, if I get locked away in a cage to go play some motherfucking basketball.
When did you come here to Indiana State Prison?
Oh, well, I came here in 1989 at the age of 15 years old. I was actually convicted of the crime that I'm here for at the age of 13 years old.
And what was the crime?
Double homicide. So I committed a double homicide at the age of 13 years old. At the age of 15, my case had ran its course through the court, and I was sent here to this prison in 1989.
Double homicide,
yes, sir.
At the age of 13.
13, yes, sir.
That's very, very young.
It's tragic, to say the least, and it is very young. Absolutely, it's unheard of. You know, wow, it's unspeakable, to say the least. Even reflective on it, almost 25 years later. In August, it'll be 25 years since that crime took place. It's still very vivid. It's still very poignant. It still resonates, and it still has the same amount of tragic elements involved in it now as it did then. And
You know, it's so crazy. I was watching this documentary about this lady that works with like killers in psychiatric like hospitals, and she was saying that, you know, like we talk about the victims and how the victims, they may be scared or they may have nightmares and stuff like that, but she was saying that the killers, a lot of times they have PTSD and they have nightmares and they have flashbacks about the killing that they did, whether it's the blood, the smell of the blood, or the sound that a victim made, or whatever. They be having like PTSD. So like when people be trying to interview killers, a lot of times they don't really want to like admit to it because of the they experience. So it's really interesting. It's interesting. It's like a double standard.
and it will always be with me for the rest of my life. I always say it's like albatross around my neck. No matter where I go or what I do for the rest of my life, it'll always be with me.
What were the circumstances which led up to the incident which led you in prison at the age
No, I didn't see that yet.
of 15?
Me and a friend had basically planned to get money to go to a fair, and to do so we're going to cut grass, and we went to a home basically, and they said they didn't want their grass cut, and rather than continue on the vein and go to the next home, we decided to push into the home essentially, and it ended in a double homicide. It's that simple. And for our complicity in that crime, I was sentenced to 170 years.
170 years?
You got a sentence of 170 years.
Yes, sir.
However you cut that, you are not going to
Get out.
here.
I'm eligible for parole when I turn 100 years old.
Have you ever thought about all the things that you have missed that other 15-year-olds go through as part of their normal lives?
Absolutely. I've never been to the prom. I've never driven a car. I've never had a driver's license. I've never filed tax returns. I've never been on an airplane. I've never traveled abroad. Yeah, should I continue? My life has been lived in this prison, and it seems as though I've been in this prison so long that I've never been free. 25 years in prison, you know, it's a long time.
Especially when you come in at the age of 15.
Yeah, really.
Ariel, thank you so much for talking to me. Thank you for taking the time.
I appreciate you.
My first meeting with Sanford was a shock, but there were more disturbing cases at Indiana State Prison.
That's crazy. They got cats in here, bro.
One of the oddities of the American prison system is that an inmate can spend 20 years on death row exhausting the appeals process before he's executed. In all that time...
But they, and over here, he got a game system. He got a game system. They got cats. Bitch, this looks like living a life, low key. Like, you ain't gotta pay bills. They feed you. May not be good, but
Convicts are confined to this cell block and have little contact with the rest of the prison. Paul McManus killed his wife and 2 young daughters.
Mr. McManus, first thing I noticed about your cell that is
he got a
terribly
TV.
clean, very different from any of the others.
Right.
Why is that?
I feel if I don't use it in a month, then I probably don't need it.
Yeah, but it's more than that, isn't
And
it?
still no women. I mean, they don't get no sex,
Well,
but
me personally, I don't read or write, so I have a lot of time on my hands. So I clean because I don't write letters, I don't read books. There's only so much on TV you can watch before they show repeats. So it gives me a lot of time. So I just take pride in cleaning my cell.
Was your life before you came to prison very similar? Were you a very, very tidy person then?
Not so much. I worked a lot, so I was always busy. So I like to stay busy. It keeps my mind. So it works both ways, I guess. You know, I keep busy in here, but I'm pretty well done all I can do in here. I might have to move to a different cell and do the same thing. But I've been here over a decade, so I'm just now getting it where I like it.
Does being on death row take a physical, emotional toll on you?
Oh, it's definitely up and down. Definitely. Now, I did weigh 250 pounds almost 2 years ago, and now I weigh 166. Now, I have pictures of them if you would like to see them. I got them right here, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
And you see the difference.
So this is...
it's all me.
This is all you. So you lost a lot of weight.
Right. As you know, it's depression a little bit, you know, and it's also just
you killed your
like I
wife
said,
and
it's a
2
roller coaster.
kids.
It's up and
Like
down.
what?
McManus sees more of Indiana State Prison than the other men on death row. He's a diabetic and is allowed a daily visit to the prison hospital. The authorities must treat him, although they will, in all probability, put him to death one day.
So when you on death row, you really not gonna die. That's what's going on.
Well, here we are, out of death row and into the sunlight. Is this the only chance you get to mix with the rest of the general prison population?
Yes, we don't have a lot of contact with them, so it is nice to be able to come out and see people that you've maybe been locked up with that are not on the road no more. And every once in a while, you can, you know, have a little bit of contact with that person just for a brief second.
Were you on any kind of medication like insulin before you came?
No, I wasn't on
to prison.
Absolutely none. Zip. Now, you know, I take quite a few pills and the insulin shot. It all comes down to the food and also how you know, you have your ups and downs where you gain weight and then stuff like that. So, I mean, that does play a factor. All my friends I brought with me. What's nice about, well, here's a nice thing about being a diabetic is that you do get to get out and come over to the hospital daily, and then to be around regular people, it's nice.
Yeah.
Put you back to normal. All right.
All right, thank you.
See you later.
Like, how can you be nice to somebody like that?
Do you want to see how much money you're eligible for? If you were in a car crash within the last 2 years, that was not your fault. You could have money coming. The truth is, insurance companies make the claims process as difficult as possible so you get frustrated and make the first deal they offer. Many people settle for a $5,000 check when they should have received $30,000 minimum.
rest of the prison is distinctly different from the oppressive gloom of death row. Lunchtime in cell block C. Prisoners have a chance to spend...
Yeah, I think a lot of people may have saw this too, though. I'm just now seeing it.
time in the open air. They can also earn privileges. Some have jobs and can request a haircut twice a month. All the barbers are convicts. Rick Parrish is serving 3 life sentences, plus 10 years.
I must say, walking into this place is one of the most extraordinary experiences I've had for a long time. You wouldn't have thought that this was a barbershop or in a maximum security prison.
Well, we